So we all get demotivated when we're learning languages. It is really, really easy to feel like you're not making any progress or that you're not making enough progress. Well, my name's Tom and I have studied 4 different languages over the last 12 months. And I have definitely had my fair share of language learning crises, shall we say, during that time. So today I want to share you 10 ways that I have found to keep motivated when you're learning languages. Now, as I said, there are 10 of these things, so I'm going to go through them quite quickly. And there's loads that I want to say that I'm not going to have time for. So if you have some questions or thoughts, then remember to join the conversation and leave a comment below this video once you've finished watching. Now, my first tip is to make sure that you have chosen the right language. Now, this is a big one, and it may seem a little bit strange, but the most motivating thing you can possibly say when you're learning a language is, I can't explain why, I don't know why, but I just love Spanish and I want to learn it. Note that this is not, oh, but Mandarin would be great for my career, or, well, French, I did it at school, so I figured I wouldn't be starting from scratch. No. When you hit a really, really tricky bit of grammar when you're a few months in, those reasons will not help you nearly as much as just pure infatuation with the language will. But can you just change language just like that? Well, of course you can. In fact, I think you're in a really strong position, having spent a little bit of time learning something else, to then move to the one that you really, really love. And you've got a really big head start because you already know some of this grammar stuff from the previous language. Number 2, and we're talking about finding a method or a teacher that really works for you. So if you're getting really fed up with Duolingo, for example, then don't worry, try something else out. For example, you can try taking an evening class. You can try getting a tutor, or maybe an online tutor via italki. Maybe you can do a tandem or watch some films or try a different evening class. Now, not a single one of these options need cost you more than about an hour of your time and perhaps 20 euros. So give a few a go and see which one works best for you personally. Okay, so the next thing that I find super motivating is to have one good, clear goal at a time and a really clear path that you understand to get there. And know that your goal should not be fluency. If at the moment you feel like you're aiming towards fluency, then that goal is far, far, far too big. I did a whole video on this. In fact, fluency, A2 level, conversational level, all of these things are really, really generic, and it is much more motivating to set a goal that is qualitative in nature and really specific to you personally. For example, I've been watching a lot of Italian films recently, and I would love to be able to speak for about 5 minutes on that topic to an Italian and tell them about my favorite films so far. Okay, moving on to number 4, external accountability. By which I mean tell your friends that you're doing this, tell your family, tell your boss, tell your neighbors, tell your dog, tell everybody that you are going to learn this language and that you have a plan to make it happen. Having your goals be public in this way can be a great motivator because I guarantee that once you've told these people this is happening, they're going to check up on you. They're going to be interested in how this new project of yours is going. But it will put you under a little bit of pressure when people are calling you up and asking you why you haven't done your homework. So I understand that this one may not be for everybody. In fact, a top tip for everybody watching this is don't try and do all 10 of these tips at once. Watch this video through and then maybe note down your favorite 3 and then put those into action first and see how you get on. Number 5 is make it sociable. Humans are very sociable animals and we love it when we get a chance to geek out with other people and join a tribe. So find some friends of yours who might also have an aspiration to learn a language and agree to go along to some classes together. Or maybe if you're not learning the same language, that's fine. Book a study date and you can still talk about grammar and things like that. It doesn't have to be the same language necessarily. Once you're feeling a bit more confident in the language, you can also go along to tandem language exchanges or events organized for foreigners living in your city. This, by the way, can be a great way to make friends who are from the country you're interested in and start to use your language for real, even at home in your home country. Okay, create a routine. Now, however you've chosen to learn, make it regular and make it an integrated part of your life. For example, you could say Thursday night from now on is pasta and an Italian film night. Or perhaps every evening you set aside half an hour to do a chapter of your French novel. Repetition will make it easier as long as you don't let yourself cancel too often. Keep it as sacred as possible and make sure that it happens most of the time. Okay, number 7 is find a way to monitor your progress. A friend of mine once said that learning a language is very much like watching a sibling grow up. You never actually really notice that it's happening because it happens so slowly and you're there every single day. But despite the fact that it can be hard to see, it's really motivating to be able to take a look back into the past and see how much you've improved. So my advice to you is to sit down maybe once a month or so and try and speak for like 5 minutes into a camera if you can, or just record it as a voice note on your phone or something like that. And then next month when you're doing it again, take a look back at your previous recordings and you will be able to see incremental change every time, and you'll be able to see yourself getting better. And I find that really motivating, and it's one of the things that I really love most about having this channel and sharing so much of my language learning journey with you guys, is that I can go back and look at me in my first week learning Italian and be like, wow, I'm so much better now than that guy. Number 8, confront the bits head on that you don't like in your target language. Now, we all have that one bit of grammar that we really despise, or maybe there's a particular pronunciation rule that you just can't make your mouth do. Well, firstly, do you even need to be good at the bit that you're worried about? Is that particular grammar structure that you're thinking about actually not tying into your goals from number 3 earlier, the plan, anyway? If it's not important, then you could consider just deprioritizing it. Don't worry, just leave it for now. But if you do really care about it, then just go out there and boss it. Focus in on it, razor sharp for about 2 weeks, and make it go from something that you're really bad at to something that you are excellent at. And you will feel so much more secure and so much safer if you've really focused on not being worried, not being scared about this thing, and instead just being like, right, you, now mate. Number 9, use conversational tools to help you stay in language when you're speaking. If you find yourself getting frustrated at having to swap back to English occasionally, then go back and take a look at phrases like, how do I say X in French? Or what was that word that you just used? Or can you repeat that for me? You will feel so much stronger for not having to swap into English to ask these questions and questions like this. And the other bonus is that the person you're speaking to will probably respond to you in your target language with the answer, helping to keep that ball rolling in your head and actually helping you to start thinking in your target language, which is a very strange feeling sometimes, but is really great when you're learning. The second thing to do in this category is to practice what it's like to forget a word by playing taboo with other language learners. This is actually a great way to emulate what it's like when you've suddenly forgotten how to say plant, and you need to explain to somebody what a plant is without using the word plant. It's a really great technique and one that all the best language schools will teach you very early on. Okay, finally, number 10, and it's a good one. Number 10 is give yourself a break. If after all of these tips, you're still feeling frustrated and stressed and annoyed at your target language, then don't worry. It is fine to take a step back, to relax, to perhaps leave it for a few weeks and come back to it. You are trying to train your brain, reprogram your brain to do something differently, which it has been doing perfectly well in English for a very long time. And if that's causing you a bit of tension, then that is 100% understandable. In fact, when we make mistakes or if we don't hit goals that we've set for ourselves, it's very tempting to beat yourself up about it, but research shows that this actually really doesn't help and in fact can make the situation worse, make you feel less inclined to go out and try and achieve that goal again. The best response to a setback like this is to take a step back, try and understand why it happened, and then move on, chill, go and get a cup of tea. The cup of tea bit isn't mandatory, but it's what I choose to do. Okay, so there you have it. That is a whistle-stop tour of my top 10 ways to keep yourself motivated when you're learning languages. Like in all my videos, I would love to get a conversation going around this and hear what you guys have to say. So head down into the comments below this video and let me know what tips you have for other people. How do you stay motivated when you're learning languages? Or what do you think about the 10 tips that I just given here? I would love to hear what you have to say. So finally, thank you so much for watching, guys. And before I go, I want to give a big shout out to everybody who has sent me a lovely message on Instagram this week. It seems to be everybody's favorite method to keep in touch with me, apart from the comments. And I really love it when I get a message from you guys there. So thank you so much, everybody who has sent me a note this week. So if you have not yet subscribed, if you are not yet a member of this channel, then hit that subscribe button to get language learning content from me every week straight into your YouTube newsfeed. For now though, thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I will see you next week.